What's going on, Jetta? How are you? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the 411 podcast. Go ahead and tag your friends. Let them know what's going on inside the 411 podcast freestyle sessions tonight. My survivor voice. What's going on? How are you? So it's Sunday, and we're going to do a freestyle session tonight. Song of the day is Encourage Yourself by Sherry Jones Moffett, released in 2009 off of the Renewed album. So sometimes we really just need to really encourage ourselves. We may not get it from the people around us. We may not even want it from people around us. Sometimes we might just need to encourage ourselves. So I'm going to pour it into you. You pour it into me. We pour it into ourselves. We do what we got to do to encourage ourselves. Because sometimes, it's just going to be like that sometimes. It's going to be one of those days when you feel in a certain way and you need to, encourage yourself. Song of the day, encourage yourself. My Jetta from my rep tribe says, I'm tired. That pop-up shop wore me out. Yeah, I saw that. Hopefully everything was good with that. I saw the music playing, everything, look real nice out there. How are those pop-up shops going? I'm curious to see how they're all going, during these crazy times. I know Texas, they got their own little thing going on, so y'all may not really be feeling it, but I was out and about this week and, some people had their mask on and they really could care less. Others didn't have it and they really could care less. So I don't know what's going on. How are you experiencing out there in Texas? Because I know y'all do your own thing. Just very curious to see what we're getting ready to get into this winter season here. I feel like this is a point where we need to start really lining up and getting some things in order. I just sort of feel that because I feel that we're in store for something real interesting this winter. We kept our mask on unless we were eating or drinking. Did you see a lot of people with their mask on though? Or did you see a lot of people? Was it more people with the mask on or more without? Pretty much. That might be a better way to ask that question. So I want to say thank you to anybody who's out there on Facebook, anybody who's out there on YouTube, Twitter, DLive, Twitch, TikTok. We're going to have to hang on for a minute. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, we will be absent from TikTok for a while. So hang tight. Otherwise, you can see me on all other social media platforms and people out there who support, like Jetta, always helping out on Facebook. I appreciate that. The people on Instagram, so many people offer me words of encouragement. Very special shout out to Sophie Davis. Special shout out to Leah. Special shout out to Nordia, Miss Rebel Jewel. Thank you all so much for, your words of encouragement. Always liking, comment, sharing, and, reposting things of mine. I appreciate that. More so people on DLive too. Like that's fairly new. And the love that's coming from there, I appreciate that too. So thank you very much. Jetta says some people kept theirs on and others didn't have one on at all. Yeah. We'll see what we getting ready to get into. It's going to be interesting, I believe. It's all in the cards with Kathy. What's up? I want to give a shout out to recording artist Donna Allen. Thank you. Trenton, New Jersey. Farrell Higginbotham. Danielle from Posh and Pretty Brow Bar. She's out there in Texas as well. true podcast, Miss Keisha Reed. She has a business called A Wine Way of Life and A Way of Life. Y'all go ahead and check her out. She definitely, you know, gives me words of encouragement and supports on, all of the platforms as well. So thank you so much, Miss Keisha. And then Miss Lakeisha and Abundance Moon, Rebel Jewel, of course, Nicole's Closet, Danny Lopez from Belgium. He's definitely doing his thing. Y'all might want to check him out as well. And Miss Bethany Trent. She has a business called fuckbeingfat.com. That's PHUCK beingfat.com. Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. So now I want to get into we want to rewind this thing last night, what we were speaking about with Fab last night. Go ahead and watch that replay. Fab growth and development. So, what practices do you put in place? This is very important. What practices do you put in place to defeat that spirit of fear? We all, experience it from time to time, some more so than others. What practices do you put in place to defeat that spirit of fear when it creeps up? Sometimes we trick ourselves. That fear comes over and it can, take over everything and spin us into a different direction. We can start off one way. We can start our day off great, and that fear can get a hold of us and spin us and put us in a different direction. We could wake up with fear. We could have fear on us, and then we can turn it on and flip it around and make our day become wonderful and great. So what practices, what things do you put in place when fear comes over you? How do you defeat fear, basically? So how do you defeat fear? Well, one thing that I do is I surround myself with all type of affirmations. I got a lot of great positive things, that's encouraging me to keep moving forward. Like, don't look back, move forward. And what I do is I think about all of the stuff that I've been through in my lifetime. And all right, we overcame that. Check, we overcame that. Remember when you thought this was the worst that was going to happen? But guess what? We overcame that. So keeping positive thoughts into my life is a big thing. And then also reflecting too. Like when I have that spirit come over me, like this is the worst situation that we are in right now, like all hell's going to break loose. It is what it is. I have to remind myself now, we've been through way far more worse. And then I have to go back and think about where we've been through and where we end up right now. So that's what I do. And also, I don't take things for granted, and I, got to humble myself a little bit and be like, all right, so you think that your situation is worse. Just remember that there's always somebody else that has it far, worse than you have it. So get it together. So it's some of those moments where, I go back and forth. My survivor voice says, I try to surround myself with fearless people, those I perceive to be fearless, and allow them to pour into me. That's great too. Yeah. Surrounding yourself by great people, great individuals, surrounding yourselves with great books. And, that's the first part. Great books, great people, changing the music, changing what you see, as far as television and things like that. Writing out affirmations, speaking into your own life. that's first and foremost, speaking into your life what you are, because what you say you are and what you see yourself as, that's what other people are going to see you as well. So also, I make lists. They help me explore the reasons I'm fearful of a particular situation, and from there I'm able to counter it. That's great. That is wonderful. What's up, Will? How are you? I see you out there. Yeah, so we had a great show last night. Antoinette definitely came in and her business fab and personal development. Y'all definitely want to go ahead and watch that replay. We had a great conversation, great discussion last night. And yeah, go ahead and check out that replay. My survivor voice. Yes, affirmations are a must. Yeah, definitely about changing that mindset. And another thing, too, which I've gotten into as well, is whenever fear comes over that one thing that you're fearful of, try to run towards it and tackle it and conquer it. Like, all right, you might be afraid to do this. Great. Just run out there and go ahead and do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You might fail at something. You can turn around and pick yourself up and try it again. It's over when you say it's over. The game is over when you hang it up. The game is over when you stop breathing. So if you can wake up the next day and take a deep breath and say, okay, we're going to go ahead and hit the reset button and try to do this thing all over again. I'm going to try to conquer and I'm going to try to destroy anything that I'm afraid of, because we should not be walking around with the spirit of fear. I shouldn't. You shouldn't. So, speaking of that, let's get into some more questions here, burning questions. So, at what age did you realize that you were no longer a victim? Some of us walked around majority of our lives pointing fingers, blaming other people for some of the reasons and some of the situations that we got ourselves into. So, at what point did you finally wake up and realize that I'm no longer a victim? I'm not. I'm far more better than all of this, and this is just, a starting point for something new, something great. At what point did you realize that you were no longer a victim and you decided to stop pointing fingers? It's all in the cards with Kathy. What's going on? Thank you for coming in. So, at what age did you realize that you were no longer a victim and you stopped pointing the finger at everybody around you? I see that you put that Y on there tonight. At the age of 12, wow, that's a young age. That is a real young age. I think at the age of 12, I was trying to find everyone to blame. Um, and then something happened in my 20s. And I don't know, I guess I was just like trying to really make people pay for some of the things that happened when I was younger. So in my 20s, I went into attack mode and I started to attack certain people and blame them. And particularly, I remember during that time frame is when I made enemies with my father when I started to get into my 20s. And that was a complete recipe for disaster because it didn't fix anything. And then I would say in my 30s, after, a couple failed relationships or whatever, the next person that I ended up being with, I started to blame all of the other past relationships for the reason why, I am the way I was the way I was at that point. So I would say that I honestly really did not start to get it together until honestly 2019, late 2019, when I really stopped pointing the fingers and blaming people. Because I was like, damn, at this point, I've been going all my life blaming people, and ain't nobody felt sorry for me yet. Ain't nobody did anything for me yet. So you really want to continue to go on with this process of sitting here blaming people? They don't give it. I had to tell myself, I had to get real deep with myself and say, really? They don't care. That sad story you sitting here telling people about what this person did to you, what that person did to you. What did you get out of it yet? No, no one baked you a pie. Nobody baked you a cake. Nobody said I'm sorry. Nobody did anything. Jetta says 25. I'm really shocked at yours though. At 12 years old. Hmm. Interesting. Well, I'm glad that Jetta at 25, you stop blaming people, because when I was your age, like I said, I was blaming everybody that I could get my hands on, and pin and point them down and say, yeah, you did this, you did that. Remember this? I was past all of the nonsense, right? But then going back and tapping people on their shoulder and saying, remember this? Remember this was going on? Remember you did this? Like dragging up old stuff and putting myself in a situation of being a victim. It was not good at all. Okay, okay. So I was pregnant at that age, had to get it together before she was born. It was not easy. Yeah, I can understand that. What's going on, Pamela? How are you? Welcome to the 411 podcast freestyle sessions tonight. I'm not quite sure if I've seen you in here or not tonight, but hopefully you get to experience something great and learn something new, because you never know what's going to happen tonight. So I know we talked about your pop-up shop and everything that you had going on, and people wearing a mask, people not wearing a mask. So I'm wondering if this happens, and I'm sure it does in pretty much majority of the households out there. Do you have somebody in your family, or do you have a friend that's close to you that really isn't taking this whole, COVID-19, this whole pandemic, this whole thing serious? And because of that, their reckless behavior may put yourself or your family in jeopardy. So, do you know anybody out there who pretty much is like, yeah, no, I don't believe this. I ain't wearing a mask. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to wash my hands. I'm not going to hand sanitize. I'm not going to do anything, extra since this thing started. I'm just going to continue to live my life the way that I've been living it. And it is what it is. And because of that, you may be a little, leery when you're around them. They might be putting you or your loved ones or, somebody close to you in jeopardy. Just want to throw that out there. Oh, yes, Kathy, I remember you telling me that story. That's a, uh, that's a deep story. One day we'll need to talk about that in depth, because I'm sure this is obviously not the platform to speak about that. But yeah, that's really unfortunate. But I do vaguely remember you telling me a story about that. Again, I just want to say thank you so much to people who are watching out there. Sometimes I can't see all of the comments, so if you're on Facebook, I believe that some of those comments are a little delayed, so I'm not ignoring you at this moment. I probably just cannot see those comments. People on YouTube, I see Jetta out there, so I am able to see your comments. If you are on Twitter, D Live, Twitch, go ahead and drop it in the comments and let me know. Where are you calling from? Jetta says, people who go out and party a lot. I just distance myself because I've always had a weak immune system. Yeah, so the people who are out there partying and cutting up, I still see that the clubs are still going on. I still see the promotions and all of that great stuff. I guess I guess they really don't care, right? Hmm. I just see people straight up, no mask on, no care in the world, just out there like it is what it is. No sign of a mask, like not laying around their neck, not in their hand, not in their pocket, nothing, just straight up out there like that. And I think it's crazy. And then when you try to tell them about a mask or you see somebody telling them about a mask, they don't have one. It's like they didn't even come prepared. No mask, sitting around chilling, nothing. They're just out there. One thing that I noticed though is I started to look at some of the concerts and stuff and the shows and the performances that are coming up. And a lot of concerts are being canceled in New Jersey, at least from what I saw. New Jersey, New York area. A lot of the people are starting to back out and cancel concerts. Curious to see if that's happening in other parts of the country. But from what I've seen a lot of New York, New Jersey, anything in this northern area. I've seen a lot of concerts become canceled, especially around November, December-ish. I'm, oh, you gave me a big word that I gotta try to pronounce. Immunocompromised and wears masks. But even if I wasn't immunocompromised, hopefully I'm saying that right, I'd still wear them. It's the compassionate thing to do. Now, where are you calling from, Pamela? Thank you for putting your comments in. We just had Kevin Gates here on the 14th. That's Bay, but I didn't go. Oh, here's another thing too. With some of these concerts, there are certain restrictions that are in place. Like you have to be vaccinated, and not only that, but you have to be tested, and you have to be tested within a certain time frame in order to be able to be enter into the venue. I truly believe that we're going to see a lot more of that. Yes, there might be this big concert, there might be this big performance. Just having a vaccination is not going to give you a pass. You must be, tested or, purchase a test kit and go through the whole process of, being tested before you can enter in the venue. Something else. I know it's happening when it comes to flying too. You can't fly without being vaccinated. And if you're not vaccinated, then you have to be tested. And then the test has to be within this time frame and that time frame. And if you don't hit it on the right marks when they want you to, then you ain't getting on that plane. So we spoke about that before. It's here. And we're only getting started. I already spoke about how one of my friends from New York, he has a digital proof of his COVID vaccine. It's all digital, has everything you need to know, really. Name, date of birth, date the vaccination came in, what vaccination you had, where it was done, when it expires. So, yeah, interesting. My rap tribe, I don't know what the criteria was to attend, but I'm not trying to wear a mask at a concert, so I'll be missing out this year. Ooh, that's a tough one. I get it. And I've been praying, but I will tell you that if Mary J. Blige comes in to concert, I'm going to have to put a mask on. I really am. I think my mask is going to say it's going to be something MJB on the front of it if that's the case. If you got to wear a mask, I'm going. But I'm telling you, I'm going to have a fly mask on to let you know that I'm here for Mary. That is so crazy, though. It's all hot. People, partying, dancing and carrying on, sweating. If it's a lot of people, I guess they did their little social distance too, where, the seats are, I don't know how that works. Curious to see how these concerts are nowadays. I go to. I've been waiting. And yes, we still don't know what's up with the new Mary album. Patiently waiting. You go, Kathy. I find that you'd go to a concert, or you are curious to see how the concerts are going to play out. Because, oh, and that's another thing. I see that Jetta, Erica Badu is getting that money. She will continue to perform. I know that that's somebody who's not going to cancel a show. So if you want to see somebody and you want to make sure that you're not wasting out and being put on hold and scrambling around to get your money back, I think Erica Badu will probably be the last person. They will probably need to make her cancel. She's really about live performances and she's really about her business. So, and that would be a great concert to go to as well. She's torn. I think she's coming up this way as well, but I think I missed her. What's going on, Bethany? How are you? You go. You go to what, a concert? Or what, a Mary J. Blige concert? When I go see Mary J. Blige, whenever the next time comes around, I definitely will be getting the VIP. I think I deserve to get the VIP where I will actually go behind the scenes and meet her this time around. That's what's up. Calling from California with her business. Fuckbeingfat.com, PHUCK beingfat.com. If you're gonna go to a Mary concert this time around, anybody, y'all need to get your money together and be right, because I used to be like, oh, this person said they're gonna go. All right, call this person. Are you ready to go? Oh, well, I don't have my money yet. Oh, this or that. And I was always attached to somebody who played games and end up becoming a big burden and being a big problem. So I'll be like, yeah, we could ride together, but my seat's probably gonna be over here and your seat's gonna be over there, because I can't be responsible for people this time around. Mm-mm-mm. And Usher. So you like Usher, huh? I missed the chances to see her in 2018. Mm. Yeah, Erica Badu puts on a show. I got a great burning question for y'all. So Jetta says, if I can't afford the VIP, I won't go. I'm too old to be in a push battle with hundreds of people. Um, I've seen the whole VIP thing before, and I think it's very expensive when you're going with a couple. But when you're single and you break it down, if you were paying that money for two people to go, hell, just pretend that you're still paying that same money for two people to go, but have enough money to pay for the VIP section. And that's how I see it. All of the Mary concerts, it is what it is. I was buying two tickets. Now, fuck it. I don't have to buy two tickets anymore. I'm gonna buy just one and keep it real. Almost was about to choke myself with a little bit of laughter there, but that wasn't funny. But I gotta give me a drink after that. I cracked myself up. Now, Jetta, I'm telling you, I am older than you. And I know you said you don't want to be in a push battle, but I'm down for a good push battle for the concert that I love. Let somebody jump in front of me. Oh, there's going to be a real big battle. It's going to be a real brawl, a real fight. But nah, I get what you're saying. You just gotta go in there and command the situation and let them know that you ain't the one right off the bat, and then you won't have to be pushing, you won't have to be battling anybody. I think that the rowdy concerts, though, like the younger crowd, you know, if you go into a real young show, a real young artist, you're gonna get some of that. But people who are more mature, you probably won't get that. You think an Erica Badu concert, people will be getting crazy and battling and all of that? I don't think so. I think they would behave themselves. And I think Usher, I think he's beyond people fighting over him at this point. uh, oh, that is ridiculous. Mm-mm-mm. One wrong push, and I'm hitting a life alert. No, I know what you're saying. I know exactly where you're coming from. Mm-mm-mm. So I got a question. What do you do when the one that loves you the most, you no longer have anything in common with them? What do you do at that point? The ones that love you the most, whatever, it is what it is. What do you do when you no longer have anything in common with them or that person? What do you do? Tupi Baker, what's going on? Where are you calling from? Welcome to the 411. So, what do you do when you don't have anything in common with the one who loves you the most? I don't know what happened. Maybe you don't even know what happened or happened, but basically, you no longer have anything in common with them. What do you do? The right thing would be to let them know ASAP. Yeah, I feel you on that. What do you do when you let them know that you no longer have anything in common with them? Maybe it might be time to break free, but they can't handle it. What do you do? Stick it out for a while. Stick it out for a while. That could be I hear what you're saying. Stick it out for a while. What's a while? Hey, I don't we're not really vibing like we used to. I got a problem. So what's your sticking it out for a while? How long is that gonna be? Although that probably is the right thing to do. If you really love somebody, that probably is the right thing to do is to push through and to fight. Because I guess you could be in love with that person. You could have so many things in common with them. And then, you could fall out of love. You may not have that many things in common. But if you stick it out, as some people say, you sort of wrap that thing back up again. So I kind of I've heard that. You understand what I'm saying? I've heard that, but my mind is like, yeah, we've done that before, and I get what you're saying now. My rap tribe, my biggest concern would be their reaction. People are crazy and unstable these days. Yeah, they will tie you up and throw you in a basement and hold you hostage somewhere. Mm. Kathy, you tying people up and putting them in your basement? I need to drink out of this water bottle. Forget that mug. Depends on what you have. That's the only way to get them to stay. Mm. So this is one thing that I have to keep thinking about. If people were unstable and people were crazy before the coronavirus and before this whole lockdown and nonsense that we had to go through, which majority of us, have been traumatized by this, if we want to admit it or not. So if people were unstable and crazy before, what do you think everything's going to be like once this is all said and done? There's no more pandemic, everything's over, the world opens back up. Do you think that people are going to be in a good mental space once this is all said and done? My rep tribe, letting them know doesn't mean leaving. You can express your concern and try to have a conversation to see if the relationship can bounce back or if it's time to walk away. I get that. Letting them know doesn't always mean, I like that, doesn't always mean that you're leaving. But letting them know opens the door that there could be a possibility that you might be leaving. So we got some great guests coming up next week. Can't believe it. We getting ready to start a new week anyway. Tomorrow. So we have Mr. Marvin coming in tomorrow. Tuesday, I have author Keisha Bush coming back. She has been here before, so can't wait to catch up with her. And then Wednesday, we have author Kara Kendrick coming in, and Miss Kathy will be there on Wednesday for Reading Between the Wines. So every Wednesday, Reading Between the Wine is live, broadcasted live at 8 p.m. versus late night 10 p.m. with the 4-1 podcast. So only on Wednesdays. Wednesday, I go on at 8 p.m. versus 10 p.m. My rep tribes, I feel like us introverts are good either way. Yeah, I could feel you on that one. Yeah. Thursday, Miss Desi May is coming in. So she was on, when did she come on? Friday. She came on Friday for freestyle sessions and we talked a little bit. I think that's when I got banned from TikTok. So if you want to go ahead and listen to that conversation, and it really wasn't anything bad, but some people got their feelings hurt, so it is what it is. But check out the replay from Friday for freestyle sessions. Desi May called in. So we're going to get, she was just giving us a little preview. So we'll get to speak to her again on Thursday. And then on Friday, we're going to do freestyle sessions again. Saturday, the McCarran House. And then Sunday, Phil Province is coming back. I think I kind of pissed off the last time he was here. And either the phone disconnected or, I don't know, the show ended. And I asked him a question, but the way I asked once the show ended, I guess it sort of gave everybody it painted a picture that wasn't the truth, I guess. So there's some unfinished business or unfinished conversation that I'm sure he wants to bring back up on Sunday. So next Sunday here, 411 podcast, Phil Province will be here. I'm surprised that you're still up, Miss Kathy, who used to go to bed at 8 o'clock, 8:30 every night. Jetta, I was just talking about that last night with Antoinette. So there was a time when I basically said, I just can't wait till I'm by myself, or I just want to be by myself. I want to be done with this. And if it wasn't for this, or if it wasn't for that, then I would be out of here. This would be a wrap. So we talked about when you speak things. When you speak things into the atmosphere, it is what it is. You're putting it in motion. So every single thing that you say, and a lot of us have said some things, and it has placed us where we are here today. We've said some things, we've done some things. It has placed us where we are here today. So with that being said, think about where you are today and ask yourself, did I speak this into the atmosphere? Did I speak this, to become true? And if you think long and hard and you think back, you probably have spoke it into existence. Just think back about it. I know for me, when I look at my life now, I'm like, yeah, I remember when, I had this discussion, I had this disagreement, I had this situation, and the words that came out of my mouth were X, Y, and Z. And what I have and what I see here today is probably because of some of the things that I spoke. Not that they're always a bad thing. So whatever you want to happen, speak it. If you don't want things to happen, then probably watch your mouth and watch what you say, because, it's probably going to happen. Once you say something, that thing is in motion and it's already sent out and it's already in the works. We just don't know when the timing is going to be. That's a mind-blowing thing, that you can say something today and you can speak something today and it can show up into your life 5 years later. And by that point, you done had all this other garbage programmed in you, all this other fear, like we talked about fear, all these other things all jacked up inside of you, that by the time that thing, manifests itself and shows up, you may not even remember speaking that. Hopefully it's something good and it's nothing negative, because majority of the time we are our own worst enemies and we're saying some hurtful, we're saying some negative things. And then when life smacks us and takes us on a ride, we don't understand how we got there. When basically, when we put two and two together and we think back to some of our actions, some of our words, some of the people that we were around, some of the places that we were, some of the things that we brought into our environment, you got to be careful the stuff that you bring into your environment as well. And you got to be careful with some of the things that you touch. Sharing certain items, letting people wear your clothes, all kinds of things like that. So much goes into this whole thing. But I thank y'all for joining me tonight with this freestyle sessions. Sort of went on a whole another journey. There's a full moon tomorrow. People are going to be in rare mode tomorrow. I know I feel the energy levels shifting. I feel all kinds of emotions stirring up. Um, I'm starting to pay close attention to the universe when these things happen. And I definitely feel some emotions today, real strong and real heavy. As I was coming in last night, I saw the moon, and it's almost full. When it's not really a full moon, but it looks like a full moon, but it looks full. I saw it last night, so I'm sure tonight is going to be even bigger. And then tomorrow night is the full moon. And you should be visible, should be able to see it somewhere around 7, like 7, 8 o'clock at night tomorrow. You should be able to see it up high at its fullest. My rap tribe says I definitely have those moments, and I try to be mindful of my thoughts and words. Yeah, and somebody like me who was just absolutely reckless. I was absolutely reckless with my mouth majority of my life. I would say anything and anything that I wanted to say, cuss you out, and wouldn't even think twice about it. And then 5 minutes later, ask you, so what are we having for dinner? Where are we going now? After I just like chewed you up and down. But now, when I say some things, or even when I think some things, it's terrible when these thoughts come in that we don't want to come in because it's just so common. But just like with affirmations where you speak things over yourself, I sometimes have to say, no, thank you. You are no longer welcome. I got to take it back like that Rolls Royce. Love don't live here anymore, so you really need to leave. I don't love this negative thinking. I don't love this piss poor thought process. You do not belong here and you need to leave. But the key is that as soon as that negativity comes in, you have to immediately speak on it and get it out. If you let it sit there and resonate with you, then that's when that seesaw effect comes in and you start to struggle. But if you tear it up and you dismiss it as soon as it comes in, it's easier to get in and get out, and then you don't focus on it. But when you start to feel a certain way, it's probably because you let those thoughts seep in and stay for just a little bit too long. And that's not cool. Once those thoughts stay in and you let them stay in that mind frame and you start to think about it, then that's when your mind can start to play tricks on you. So you have to become the master of your own mind. And it's easier said than done because it's not easy, especially if you've been through some traumatic stuff in your life, you've been through some situations. It's so hard because your mind is going to want to take you to that comfort zone. Your mind's going to want to take you to that victim mentality. Your mind's going to want to take you to that, oh, woe is me mentality. Your mind's going to want you to go there because it feels comfortable. That's what it was used to doing. Stepping out on your own, fighting it, defeating it, becoming the master of your own mind, tackling all of your fears. That's new. That might be new for some of us. So if you were, a pessimistic, negative person the majority of your life, you trying to be an optimistic new person, that's a hard battle. Because for me, I got damn near 30 years worth of negative thinking. And now I only got 2 years of positive thinking. That's a hard battle. And every single day is a struggle to try to do the right thing and be, be upbeat and on point. It's crazy. So I'm up against 30 years of just piss poor thinking, negative attitude, always thinking at the worst. And I got my 2 years in of, trying to, become a new person and positive and looking at, the light at the end of the tunnel. But I got this 30-year battle that I gotta, fight up against. It's a battle. Like they say, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Be careful what you look at, which, we've already been down there tonight. Be careful what you listen to. Be careful who you're around, what you bring into your environment. Even people with their negative energy. It might not be about you bringing possessions into your environment. Possessions are a whole nother thing because I've had so many things that were brought into my environment that shouldn't be, as far as possessions and people who have touched things. They pour their energy into it, whether it be negative energy or it be good energy. So if someone had something that the person, I hate to use the word evil, but the person might just have some bad energy, and they had some possessions and they were touching them and they were handling them, and then they pass them off onto you. Objects carry energy, and now you're bringing that bad energy into your environment. So that's one thing with items. But let's talk about when you bring people into your environment who are holding or bringing in some negative energy. And then after they go ahead and tear up and, sprinkle all of their BS all over the place and then they leave. Now your environment has been compromised and your environment is holding, some of this bad energy. And then it trickles down to anybody else who walks into that environment or who's in your household. Got to be very, very careful about all of these things. Craziness. Well, I thank y'all for coming on into the freestyle sessions tonight. If you'd like to support the 411 or Reading Between the Wines, go ahead and click that link above, all of my social media platforms. And I'm thankful to be on Facebook, Instagram. I am on TikTok, but I'll be back. YouTube, Twitter, DLive, Twitch. Go ahead and click that link above, all of my social media platforms, and go inside of Shop Black Diamond. Anything that you purchase inside of Shop Black Diamond will help support the 411 podcast and Reading Between the Wines. And of course, I could not come out here. Thank you. I appreciate you, Bethany. Good night. I could not do any of this without each and every one of you out there for supporting. I just want to say thank you so much, especially during the times when, I might be beefing back and forth with some of these social media platforms. I appreciate everybody who has definitely been doing their thing on Instagram. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I definitely will return all of the love, coming up real soon. But thank you so much for that. And I also could not do it without my executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to come out here and give y'all the 411 podcast one more time in life. Yeah, we're continuing this journey. We're continuing on this process. And, it's all about, transformation. It's all about becoming a master of your own mind, beating this thing, fighting this thing, and moving on. Yeah. We're getting ready to transform. I'm getting ready to transform, and I invite you to come on and transform with me. But yeah, it's all about transformation, becoming a master of your own mind, not letting anybody have any power over you. Now that you have the power back in your life, keep it. Don't relinquish it to anybody else. That's where the mistake comes. When you start to build yourself up, you start to feel great about yourself, you start to get your power back, you start to get that bounce back, and then all of a sudden, you start feeling too good about yourself, becoming too trustworthy of some people. I'm not saying that you can't trust anybody. We have to trust. We have to learn how to go through that process. But just don't be giving your heart to anybody. Don't be giving your power to anybody, allowing them to just jack you up and tear you up. This takes some time for us to get to these points where we are in our lives. This ain't no quick 1, 2, 3 thing. I got it together. This is work that is put in to get us to where we are here today. So after all of that work, why would you go ahead and release your power to somebody that you barely even know? Craziness. I see so many people get all wrapped up in the situations after all of the hard work that it took to get them where they are. And the only thing that I have to say is that, you know what? I just pray and hope that everything works out. What's going on, Melanin Queens? How are you? I hope and pray that everything works out well for you. That's all that I have to say. But I will tell you, Releasing and letting somebody have that much power over me, probably not going to happen. I've been there and I've done that. And like my girl Mary says, and I promise never to get hurt again. We ain't doing that. I am not releasing my power. This is going to be a 50-50 type of thing that we got going on here. You are going to meet me halfway. I got to pour into myself every day, and I expect you to pour into yourself every day. So that way you don't need me to be doing no extra overtime trying to build you up. Hell, I got to build myself up. You build yourself up, and then once we both are where we need to be, now we can start bouncing off of each other. But if you waking up in the morning and you expecting me to give you something when I didn't even look at myself in the mirror and get myself together right, this whole thing ain't gonna work. This is not gonna work. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you. You gotta have a good spiritual surrounding, and your person and your mate and your partner. I'm just speaking about how I envision myself going on in the future. You may not feel this way, but y'all both need to be on the same page. It can't be I'm going head over here and I'm going to church and I'm praying and I'm, you know, you know, doing what I need to do, and you sitting somewhere looking at me waiting for me to get back. Or it's like a struggle to get you to even, open up the Bible and look at the Bible. It's anyway. Become the master of your own mind. Once you get your power and you get that power back and you get that bounce back, just be very careful. Very careful who you release that power to. And hopefully if you're releasing that power to somebody, they releasing some power to you, and y'all both are equal, and y'all both are bouncing off of each other and making each other whole. Somebody's going to say, you should already be whole, which is true. You should already be whole before you get wrapped up with somebody else. Y'all have a good night. See you tomorrow, 10 o'clock, Mr. Marvin, 411 Podcast. Thank you. Have a good night.